Bharat Puri, the Managing Director of Pidilite Industries. Firstly, sir, Pidilite has delivered a decent performance in the second quarter with revenues being up around 5% odd. Now, what are the factors that led to such a growth in the second quarter?
See, as far as we're concerned, when we look at the second quarter as well as the first half, now, despite a whole lot of disruptions, both in the first half, we had the elections followed by the heat wave, we had extended and very vigorous monsoon resulting in a fair amount of disturbance in the second quarter. In that context, when we look at our underlying volume growths, we're close to again double digits. We're over 8% underlying volume growth. We have very healthy profit growth up. EBITDA margins are at a high. This is largely because of three factors. One is very clearly from an external point of view, the construction sector is seeing healthy activity. Our own strategies in terms of, which we've recounted many times in the past, whether it be our core segments growing at GDP growth and pioneer segments growing at rates faster than GDP, that is playing out. We have consistently invested in both rural and semi-urban markets. We are one of the few companies where over not just the last 2 quarters, but over the last 2 years, rural markets continue to go much faster than urban markets.
Well, sir, gross margins have also expanded on the back of the moderation that we have seen in the raw material prices. How do you foresee the trend in raw material prices going forward?
See, as far as input prices are concerned, right now these input prices are benign. But we live in an uncertain geopolitical world. We don't know how geopolitics is going to pan out over a period of time. Hopefully, if the situation in the Middle East or Russia, Ukraine, any of these things does not exacerbate or does not impact crude oil, etc. We feel the rest of the year also, at least definitely the third quarter, but the rest of the year also will see benign input prices, and therefore we would maintain gross margins at these levels.
And so how is the competition from the paint companies when it comes to the waterproofing business?
See, this is the question we get asked all the time. All the paint companies have been in waterproofing for 10 years. So it's not something new for us. We know how to handle it. We have the strongest brand in waterproofing today. If you ask 8 out of 10 consumers will say Dr. Fixit when they're asked to name India's leading waterproofing brand. We have our strategies in place as leaders. Obviously, we set the pace. And we're no strangers to competition. As long as we delight our consumer and customer a little more than the competition, we will continue to win.
Mr. Puri, this is Cheryl also joining in the conversation. If you could tell us about the festival season, how's it going on? Are you seeing some good demand trends in this festive season right now?
It's too early to say. As far as the festival season is concerned, this year we've seen extended rains. We've now seen the first 20 or so days of October, which is proceeding. I cannot say there's buoyant demand. It's proceeding as per our expectations. It's not buoyant in any way. But really, whenever we see the third quarter, when you have an early Diwali, which is the 1st of November, normally November, December also tends to be good. Rather, in fact, even the fourth quarter tends to be good. So I would right now say wait and watch.
Wait and watch when you talk about the festive season. Too early to talk about it. But how does the company view its outlook for the upcoming fiscal year for domestic markets as well as international markets? Any targets that you all have already penciled in for the company's outlook going ahead?
See, as far as domestic is concerned, as we've said, we are looking at the future with increased optimism, largely due to three things. One is from an external point of view, clearly there will be a lot of government spending. Government spending is oriented towards the second half of the year. The monsoon has been healthy. That should result in better rural demand going forward. And overall, we have seen real estate come back in the country. There is healthy construction activity happening. A combination of all of this makes us look at the future with a fair degree of optimism. So we're fairly hopeful that, barring any black swan events, actually, we should go to double-digit underlying volume growth, which has always been our objective.
And lastly, sir, before we let you go, are there any new products or innovations in the pipeline?
We, as Pidilite, We are a company that is known for innovation. Innovation is one of our secrets of success. So in every of our divisions, we will have one or two major innovations and two to three smaller innovations coming through. These are being launched. I mean, for example, if I was to give you, today, earlier, Fevikwik had one SKU, which is a 5 rupee SKU. Today, there is a Fevikwik that is, you can use when you need waterproofing. There's a Fevikwik you can use for flexible. So there's a Fevikwik gel, there's a Fevikwik advanced, there's a Fevicol for children for art and a Fevikwik for art and craft. So we keep expanding the range, and this is true for all. I mean, if I look at my tile adhesive business, we now have a range which is a mass range, and we have a premium range given the trend of premiumization under the Roth brand. There is a brand called Neofix, which is a more premium brand which we have launched. So at Pidilite, innovation is part of our lifeblood. So you will see in every division innovation happening all the time.
For joining us and for giving us all those details about Pidilite going forward. Well, with that, let's slip into.
There comes a time when your heart calls for you to arise. Plant your feet solid into the ground. Decide your own limits. And then break right through them. Become something more. It's my time to rise.